Daf Yomi Tractate Zevachim, page 94a, and starting with the last line of 93b, just to start off the context, Rabbi Elazar holds that even after it is flayed, the hide does not require laundering. In interpreting the verse, he says, the verse states garment, and from this I have derived only a garment. From where do I include sackcloth? Okay, now we're 94a, top of the page to start off for the day, 94. V'chol minei begadim, Talmud lo amar, asher oleh techabes, יכול שאני מרבה עוד שמשהוש פשט, הוא פשט, Talmud lo amar בגד, מה בגד דבר? מקבל טומאה, אף כל דבר מקבל טומאה. And all types of garments made of other materials in the requirement of laundering, the verse states, you shall launder that on which it shall be sprinkled. One might have thought that I include an animal's hide after it was flayed. That verse states garment, to teach that just as a garment is an item that is susceptible to ritual impurity as is, so too any comparable item that is a ready utensil and therefore susceptible to impurity must be laundered. Accordingly, Rabbi Elazar holds that merely flaying a hide is insufficient to render it an item that must be laundered. Again, I have to voice this question. Why is there so much talk about something that has to be laundered or not? Who wouldn't want to launder their clothing, whether you have to or whether you don't? I understand why so much time is spent arguing over whether you are required to launder it or not. You should want to launder anything, whether you're required to or not. Just the feeling of being clean, isn't that enough? Okay, let's continue. My binayo marabaye mat lespesu b'chusa mishroshi kaminayo man demeroi wanamiroi di boi chashivale man yomar davar mekal tuma amiha lav bal kabole tuma. The Gemara asks, what is the practical difference between the opinions of Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbi Elazar? Is there an item that is fit to become ritually impure, but is not actually susceptible to impurity? Abaye said, a patch of cloth less than 3 by 3 finger breadths presents a practical difference between the two opinions. According to the one who says that any garment fit to become ritually impure must be laundered, this patch of cloth. By the way, I just took my clothing to be laundered today. I wasn't required to. Did I need a Talmud to tell me that I'm required to bring my clothing to laundry? I brought it anyway because I wanted it clean. And that should be enough for them too. All the more so than it should be. This patch of cloth is also fit to become ritually impure, as if the owner wants, he can intend for this specific use, as in patching his garment. What happens when you put a new patch on an old garment? Won't help you. You have to get a new garment. As I state, according to one who says that only an object is already susceptible to impurity must be laundered, this patch, in any event, is not yet susceptible to impurity, so it does not require laundering. Rabbi Omar Beged Shechishe Velea Tzura Ikbenal Banda Maroi Honamiroi Divoy Vatele Levachshabte Manda Mandavara Pakabal Tuma Hashtabi Allah Bat Kabalitu He Rabbi said a garment upon which an individual initially intended to place an image constitutes a practical difference between the two opinions. Since the garment was initially intended to have an adornment, the garment is considered incomplete and not yet susceptible to impurity until the image is added, according to the one who says that any garment fit to become ritually impure requires laundering. This garment is also fit to become ritually impure, as if the owner wants to, he can void his intention to add the image, and the garment will be automatically susceptible to impurity, according to the one who says that only an item already susceptible to impurity requires laundering. Now at least this garment is not susceptible to impurity and does not require laundering. Rava Omar Utzba Tichashev Ale Lekatsa Ikabinayu Man Damaroi Hanamiruya Man Damar Davar Bekabal Tuma Olav Bekabla Tuma Ad Dimikatzala Ve'atanya Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe Omer Utzba Shechishev Alea Lekatza'a Tahira Ad Sheyekatze Inha. According to a different version, Rava said, an unfinished hide that one intended to trim in a precise manner constitutes a practical difference between the two opinions. According to the one who says that any garment like item fit to become ritually pure must be laundered. This hide must be laundered, since it is also fit to be susceptible to impurity if he voids his intention. According to the one who says that only an item already susceptible to impurity must be laundered, his hide does not require laundering, since it is not susceptible to impurity until he trims it. This explanation may be corroborated as it is taught in Braita. Rabbi Shimon ben Menashe says an unfinished hide that one intended to trim is ritually pure until he trims it. Ein taun kibus kule mano hanimili tanabaran ya cholnitas al miktas beged ye kol habeged taun kibus tamlomar asher yazeh. Excuse me. Lo marti lacham. The Mishnah teaches the garment requires laundering only in the place that the blood was sprayed, but the entire garment does not require laundering. The Gemara asks, from where are these matters derived? They are derived from a verse, as the sages taught. The verse states, and when any of its blood shall be sprinkled on a garment, one might have thought that even if the blood sprayed only on part of the garment, the entire garment should require laundering. To counter this, the same verse states that on which it shall be sprinkled. This is to be understood. I told you that laundering is required only in the place that the blood was sprayed. Rabbi Yehuda, the Mishnah also teaches the garment must be laundered only if it is an item that is fit to become ritually impure. And if it is an item fit for laundering, the Gemara observes, evidently the unattributed portion of the Mishnah is taught in accordance with the opinion of Rabbi Yehuda. This statement is unlike the opinion of Rabbi Elazar, who holds that only an item that is presently susceptible to impurity requires laundering. Okay. Roy likibus lemeutekli davar v'reidoi. Who the Mishnah also teaches only an item fit for laundering must be laundered. The Gemara observes, this qualification serves to exclude a vessel from the requirement of laundering, as it is suitable for scraping blood off of it. Laundering is necessary only for material of fabric into which blood is absorbed. The ad shetichle. The Mishnah teaches with regard to the garment mentioned explicitly in Torah, and the sackcloth and the hide, all of these must be laundered. Apparently, that is to say that a hide, meaning leather, is suitable for laundering. And the Gemara raises a contradiction between that assumption and the Mishnah that discusses laundering on Shabbat. In Shabbat 142b, if there were bird droppings on the cushion, one wipes it with a dry rag, but one may not rinse it with water because of the prohibition against laundering. If it was on a cushion of leather, he applies water to it until the filthy substance dissolves. Evidently, cleaning leather with water is not considered laundering. Amar Abaye L'Kashya. Amar Abaye L'Kashya. Abaye said this contradiction is not difficult. That Mishnah in Tractate Shabbat is in accordance with the opinion of the rabbis, and this Mishnah is in accordance with the opinion of others. As the Sofer writes about the blood of sin offering, if blood sprays onto a garment, or onto sackcloth, he launders it. But if it sprays onto a vessel or onto leather, he scrapes it off. Others say, if he sprays onto a garment or onto sackcloth or onto leather, he launders it. But if it sprays onto a vessel, he scrapes it off. According to this Braita, the rabbis hold the laundering is not applicable to leather, and since the opinion attributed to others holds that it is applicable, Zimnin Sigiin Avakamina Kamirab Bishach Shehi Le Bisane Bemaya Kiman Kirabana. The Gemara asks that according to whose opinion is that which Rav Chia Bar Ashi said, many times I would stand before Rav on Shabbat and place water on his leather shoes, which he did not consider laundering on Shabbat. In accordance with whose opinion is this? It is in accordance with the opinion of the rabbis in this Braita. Amar Rabba, Mi Kilamadoma. Ola Varkibusu Yoksiv Vabeged O Hashiti O Ha'erev. Oh my goodness, this is amazing. Habeged O Hashti O Ha'erev. I was just talking about Shti and Erev today. Wow. Habeged O Hashti O Ha'erev O Kol Kliyao Asher Techabes Amar El Amar Rabba Rava said, and is there anyone who says that leather is not suitable for laundering? But is it written with regard to leprosy and the garment or the woof or the warp or the woof? Or any article of leather that you shall wash? Leviticus 13:58. Rather, Rava said, the verse that speaks of leprosy and the Mishnah that speaks of the sin offering are ruling with regard to soft leather, which is considered subject to laundering. In the Braita, when the rabbis and others disagree, is regard to an item that's made of hard leather, as the rabbis hold that laundering does not apply to hard leather. The Gemara challenged Rav's explanation, but didn't Rashi say that many times I would stand before Rav on Shabbat and place water on his leather shoes, which he did not consider laundering on Shabbat, since shoes are normally made of soft leather. According to Rav's explanation, this should have constituted laundering on Shabbat. The Gemara resolves the difficulty. It was a case of hard leather shoes, and Rav acted in accordance with the opinion of the rabbis that laundering does not apply to hard leather. Okay. How did Rav mean say namri? Neganami le dekra dekhi kasivan merakim kasivan milo eskin mekhle ak siga salgia ik salgia aboim Rabbi then said, that which I said, that the verse about leprosy relates to soft leather, is not correct. Shall we stand and say of the verse that when the leather articles are written, it is only of soft leather articles that the Torah writes? A verse cannot be constrained in such a manner. Are we not also dealing with articles of hard leather? Axilgia, that comes from overseas, and yet the Merciful One says in the verse that they require laundering. And rather, Rabbi said, although the verse also relates to hard leather, this does not mean that all opinions must agree that laundering is always applicable to hard leather. The hard leather in the verse is an exception, because in the case of leprosy, since leprosy sprouts from within the garment itself, it loosens it and renders it soft, so that its halakhic status is that of soft leather. Rava said, nevertheless, if something poses a difficulty for me, according to my opinion that everyone agrees with the halakha with regard to laundering applies to soft leather, this is what poses a difficulty for me. Okay, that's 94a.